whether we like it or not, and we have objected. And we did adopt an ordinance a year ago which put a moratorium on approving any more of them until the final regulations that the health department is dealing with are adopted. They are about ready to adopt emergency regulations, which in many respects are helpful, but in a lot of respects are not. We have just finished our survey on those systems in the county, about 1,100 of them. And we're just now releasing the information on that survey. 25 or 26 met the failure definition, very strict failure definition that the state has, that is raw sewage in the ground or backing up into the homes or groundwater contaminated. 23% of the systems, over 200 of them, met what is a reasonable person would consider a failure. So we've got about 25% of them out there that are in bad shape. And this has raised a lot of eyebrows around the state, and there is a movement to clamp down on their use. But we could use some help with you because the installers, the repair industry, and the development industry are lobbying very strongly in Richmond to make the rules as weak as possible. So if you would join with us in dealing with Richmond, we would appreciate it. But that's an item on there that we're willing to discuss.
It certainly seems to me that we're like-minded on that issue.
One of the things we didn't quite get to last time is important because the lack of specificity, PUGAMP pointed out the difference of opinion over what is a non-conventional system and what is an alternative system. We had a variety of opinions on that. We did agree. So while the issue of whether they're approved we haven't agreed on what constitutes those. Some of the positions were what was once considered alternative. If it's been installed repeatedly over time, it's no longer alternative. Some of us didn't support that.
You're a little mistaken here. At the time PUGAMP was written, a system that was known as an alternative discharge system, that is a system that discharged onto the surface into a stream, was considered an alternative system. The definition's kind of changed.
Well, that's your opinion. I don't know that I'm mistaken. We have a difference of opinion. So I could sit here and have 1,000 things, or I could just sit here, Jim, and say you're mistaken. But okay. I think it involves us having an understanding agreement, the town and the county. What definition will we use for those systems so that when we're faced with those again, that we have a mutual agreement? It's hard to go, as you said, to go to Richmond and fight to agree with you, or you to agree to fight with us when we're not even agreeing on what the systems are that we want to call alternative. If you want to use a state definition, that's one thing. We need to discuss that. What is that definition? Again, we had a lot of research. We didn't come to an agreement when we went through the last PUGAMP revision. We got close, and the only way it was going to be dealt with then was to say, as I recall, I hope I'm not wrong, I'm sure you'll correct me, was that you had asked that the public facilities be allowed to have those systems, whatever they were, but no one else.
Right, that's what that was our basic main disagreement and reaching final agreement on the vision of PUGAMP. And I don't have a problem at all with going back and trying to finish that revision of PUGAMP. I may have trouble finding 5 votes on this board to put it on the work plan, but I don't have a problem with that at all. Do you want to go through this agenda?
Yes, but I'd like to start with what you had suggested as rules of order. Maybe
sure.
Perhaps you'd be kind enough to share them with us, and then
yeah.
I think that it would be helpful is as we work through these issues that it would make things easier in moving some things forward.
Basically, let me just read this so the public understands it. That if we're going to have rules of order, we put these together. I don't think we need them, but I'm willing to adopt some. That the meetings may be called by any member with at least 2 weeks' notice. Meetings may not be scheduled at the same time as any business meeting, public hearing, or committee meeting of the town council, town planning commission, county board, or county planning commission. The town and county members will alternate hosting the meetings of the joint committee, beginning with the town hosting tonight's meeting. The host members will designate the chair for that meeting. Any member may place an item on the agenda. No action may be taken without all members present. Robert Rules of Order, newly revised 10th edition, would be used as necessary except as inconsistent with the rules previously laid out in the motion. Would you all have a problem with that? I have a bottom further move. I'm sure you would.
I would ask one thing, that sometimes my schedule with work, I do have to go to night meetings, and with the council, I think maybe 30 days instead of 2 weeks, or some 2 weeks can be cutting a little close for me,
Okay.
given that there may be some items for action, and I don't dispute that, it's a good thing to have all members present. So I think 30 days might be a little more.
I'll amend that. At least 30 days. So I'm gonna move,
The first part of it, Jim?
yes,
Up to the,
I further move.
Yeah.
Okay, I move that the joint committee adopt the following rules of order for the conduct of its business, the rules that I read and that are on the sheet.
I second the motion.
And that's not including the last paragraph.
No, and for the public's purpose, the last paragraph is I further move that the agenda for tonight's meeting, as presented with both town and county items, be approved for purposes of setting out the business to be taken up at this meeting.
And
I won't,
these will
I'm
take
not
effect
gonna
in-
fight with you anymore over that. We've reached an agreement that we're not, you don't wanna deal with, that part tonight, so we won't. We'll get on with the other items in the
we can
agenda.
discuss it, certainly.
We can
Oh,
discuss it.
we're,
We'll discuss it, we'll discuss it.
we're dead serious in understanding it, because at the end of the day, we're required on the annexation agreement, as I understand it, that we have to, you say there's a dispute.
Yes.
We have to say, well, how can we work that out? For layman's language, how can we work that out? Annexation agreement says if we can't, then the town and the county have to have an arbiter.
That is an option that's.
That is an option. I think that makes sense, that there may be a time where we may have an issue and that we will have to go through the same point.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that we're unwilling, when we set our next meeting, and I think we should set our next meeting as best we can, to take that issue up, and then make a recommendation to I'll be willing to discuss at our next PUGAMP committee meeting, to make a recommendation to our council, once I get a chance to review everything, because there's a lot of information, it's 10 years, to say, look, we can't resolve this, what do you want to do? And that's up to the 6 members of the council, because I can't, I as one person can't contract, we're gonna have to hire an arbiter. Who is it? How do we do it? I don't have the ability to just say, this is it, this is how much money we're gonna spend. We have different rules that you all have, and so we need to go forward with that. The motion was made to, for the rules excluding the final paragraph. Is there any other discussion? Okay, should we do a roll call vote, Mr. Burton, is that okay?
Doesn't matter to
Mr.
me.
Burton?
Aye.
Ms. Mayo?
Aye.
Mr. Priscilla?
Yes.
I vote aye, that passes 4-0. Rob has told me almost everything has to be a roll call vote whenever I'm sitting up there, so it's just something that I have to. But thank you very much for submitting this. Let's see. What do you want to?
Everything is the same,
Okay.
except for us wanting to deal as an action item.
Okay.
So we can go down this, we've all talked enough, I think, on item number 7.
The only thing is we've adopted Robert's rules, we've adopted how to set meeting dates. Perhaps, maybe the parliamentarian, we could switch back and, as a suggestion, we switch back to whoever the host is, the town attorney or the county attorney.
That's fine.
To serve as a parliamentarian.
And
Agreed?
that's fine, I was gonna suggest that,
Okay.
reminding everyone that a parliamentarian is an advisor.
Yes.
Not the final arbiter.
Okay. Autumn Hill.
Okay.
We,
This was an item